There's a new tally each day.
We're starting with sobering news tonight. This was the deadliest day North Texas has seen since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
31 COVID deaths were reported today. That is 31 families who've now lost a loved one to this virus.
30 more people in Dallas County died in a single day.
And it can be tempting to let the numbers fade into white noise. But with COVID-19 cases swelling, projected to soon hit more than 3,000 a day in both Dallas and Tarrant counties, we can't just change the channel and pretend it's not happening. Since March, more than 21,000 Texans have died from COVID-19. By the time you're watching this, that number will have grown. To put that into perspective, at the peak of the summer surge, Dallas County reported 30 deaths in one day, more than the number of people killed when a gunman opened fire on a church in Sutherland Springs. In November, more people died than in the 1985 plane crash when Delta Flight 191 went down at DFW. And throughout the pandemic, there have been more deaths here in North Texas than there were in the September 11th terrorist attacks that left our nation stunned. The point isn't to compare these things. The point is to remind you that behind all of these numbers are people. People like Robert Rhodes, who dedicated his life to teaching the next generation of lawyers at TCU.
In the classroom, he just sparked this level of joy and passion.
And members of law enforcement like Chester Holt, Dennis Oliver, Bronk McCoy, and Alex Arango.
He had a job to do, and he went out doing it.
Also among the North Texans who've died, you'll find a school bus driver, a lawyer, a popular Dallas chef. Some of them were well known to the world, while others were the world to their families. And then there are those who've lost their lives in the service of others, the healthcare workers fighting this virus on the front lines.
Had we been better and smarter about this and just stayed inside or wore a mask if we had to go outside, then I think she'd still be alive today.
And for each one of them, you'll find spouses, children, nieces and nephews, grandkids, and friends.
It does have that ripple effect.
A club of sorts that no one chooses to be included in.
And nothing will ever be the same in our lives or many people's lives.
Love you.
For many of them, this is what goodbye looked like.
We miss you so much, Mom.
Rather than hold her hand, Norma Flower's children and husband of 68 years said their final I love yous through a phone. It was the same for Nettie Cunningham's children.
She didn't get any family touch or love.
Who watched her slip away from behind glass. And for Ophelia Hernandez's daughter.
With COVID, you can't hold them. You can't be near them. You're literally dying alone, and people don't understand that.
She was just 46 years old. Since the pandemic began, we've listened to and shared stories like those from more than 24 families, and nearly all of them have shared a warning.
This virus is real. It's not a joke.
Or perhaps a plea.
Please be careful.
If not for yourself, then for those who are compromised and for the loved ones they would leave behind.